Hello and welcome to the channel and welcome to DCS. Now we're sat in the Su-25 here on the runway, and immediately I can tell you on the index this thing is very immersive. I am in all intents purposes sat in this aircraft right now, and all the dials and switches that are surrounding me are very immersive. I'll try and keep my head a little bit still for you guys. Now, at the minute, I don't have a joystick or a HOTAS. All I have is the valve index and the headset. But, luckily for us, as you can see, we can control this virtually. Now, I know that would be sacrilege to all you simmers out there. And I will probably get one eventually. It's just, I tend to get really into my military games, and then I kind of move on, such as squad and things like that. And the worry of buying a really expensive HOTAS, which means a new desk and new other things, you know, to get the rudder pedals in and everything else. I just thought, maybe I should experience DCS a little bit more before I start to invest in it. So here we are in the Su-25. And this is one of the free aircraft that you get when you first download from Steam. And this is not what's called a high fidelity aircraft, so a lot of the dials, buttons and switches in this aircraft are not actually usable. But it gives you an opportunity to experience the world of DCS and get quite involved in the flight planning and everything else that goes with it. So, we do have the controllers here. And as you can see, I've set the joystick on the left to be the rudder for now. And if we want to touch something, we can press the button, which is green, which is the equivalent of right mouse click. And if I remember rightly, one of them goes blue and one of them goes green. It may be because I've paused it at the minute. So you flick it over for right click and so and so. But it means that a lot of these switches can be really tricky in order to get to turn them out. As I said, not everything in here is turnable. So the frustration as we sat here would be on the demo now, the explaining on how to taxi and start the Su-25 up. You have to press keybinds, and this means you've got to take the headset off and you're fumbling around for keys. But I found an application called Voice Attack, which a lot of the high-end simmers out there are using for a lot of the functionality when they've run out of keys, even on the HOTAS. So if I say things like, open canopy, by the power of magic, you can see the canopy is now opened. And we can use this for other functions as well. Electrical power on. Electrical systems. No, it's not working because I've forgotten what the voice command is that I've set up. So the voice command should be electrical power on.
Electrical power on.
With the electrical power now engaged, you can see that the heads-up display, or HUD, comes to life, as well as many instruments and cockpit lights. Before moving the aircraft, make sure that more than 3 minutes have elapsed in order to let the horizontal situation indicator gyro to align properly. Now that you have power, let's turn on the navigation lights by pressing right, control, and L.
So again, that will stop in a minute. Another brilliant feature is on the control pad, I can press the button now, which has been updated, which means we can get a really zoomed in view as well of all these control panels here. I wish we could shut that up. I may turn the volume down in the edit. So now it wants us to put the navigational lights on. So if I just check my voice command again, I should have been here. Navigational lights on.
Navigational lights
Next,
on.
let's close the canopy by pressing left, control, and C.
Open canopy.
Our next step is to start our two engines. Before you do so, make sure your throttle controller has a 0 power setting. Start the left engine by pressing right, Alt, and Home.
So if I can remember these, it's just a matter of getting used to them. Is it engine 1 on? That could be. Left engine start.
Left engine
With the left
starting.
engine started, press right, control, and home.
So if we look back now and I say take off flaps.
We're now ready to taxi. So slowly increase the throttles by moving your throttle control.
So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to take control of some of these things in virtual reality with the knuckles controller. So I'm going to grab this. As you can see, we have full control there. And down at the bottom, as I mentioned before, you can see we are moving the rudder with the left joystick. So we're now going to put this grab both. Make sure we are grabbing both, and we're just going to shift this forward slowly. Now it says to maintain a speed of 20 on the hood, but if you look at the top left there, it says 80. The SU-25 has a minimum of 80 on its clock speed up at the top left. So bring that speed back down now.
102. Ассистент. Разрешаю руление на полосу 26.
We'll bring this round here, and of course we can open the canopy if we want to get a better sound. Open canopy. Now
nice job. Now heading in the right direction. Keep your taxi speed around 10 kilometers per hour, as indicated in the top left corner of the HUD. As you taxi, use small, smooth rudder corrections to keep you aligned on the center of the taxiway.
Not sure what the voice command is to actually get rid of the labels, but there you go. And I'm going to bring this down because I haven't actually set a brake yet either. I'm hoping we're not going in too fast here.
Hang a right to reach the runway. As we taxi, you can go to external view by pressing F2 and return to the cockpit by pressing F1. You can zoom in and out using the keypad star and / keys. Rotate the views using the keypad directional keys.
Open canopy.
We've now reached the runway threshold. Taxi onto the runway to the right and align yourself down the length of it.
Now I realise that should be close, but I haven't set it. But this piece of software is really good, and as you can see here in virtual reality, it is absolutely silky smooth.
Increase thrust of both engines to maximum and use gentle inputs on the rudder, X and Z, to keep you tracking down the center line.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to see if we can actually take off in the SU-25. Have a little fly around and see what it's like in virtual reality. As you can see in the cockpit here, real shadows and everything. And I'm going to pull the fuse out on that thing. Let's see if we can take off without actually crashing and burning here. So we're going to put full burner on. And we're going to take off, I think it was around 250. And I'm going to try and do the rudder pedals down there as gently as I can with the thumbstick.
The airspeed, as indicated in the top left corner of the HUD, indicates about 250 kilometers per hour. Gently pull back on the controller and allow the aircraft to fly itself off the runway. Don't yank the controller back to force the aircraft into the air.
Gears.
As mentioned before, your airspeed in kilometers per hour is indicated in the top left corner of the HUD. In the top right-hand corner of the HUD is your altitude in meters. Between the altitude and speed indications is your heading tape. With positive climb established, raise the landing gear by pressing G.
Raise gears. Gears. I think that's done it. So here we are in virtual reality with a virtual yaw joystick in the cockpit. And how does it feel? Well, first of all, I can tell you it is absolutely silky smooth. I actually used a mod to run specific VR shaders for this game. And it stutters just a little bit occasionally when you're looking at high dense areas such as towns and places like that. But barring that, it's absolutely smooth, and this is very, very controllable. What we'll do is we'll fly up. Have we got full burners on? Yes, we have full burners on. We'll fly up towards those clouds and fly through and see if there's any actual stuttering or any effects such as that. But at the minute, as you can see, we can zoom in and have a look at all the dials and everything in here, which is quite disconcerting. But as you can see, clouds up there are really where things like this is where it really affects the frame rate. And as we bank over here at the right angle, absolutely brilliant. I do feel like the game is a little bit washed out, and a few people have said that. Even though I have dropped the gamma, I may drop it even more. But of course I can edit that in post. As we come around, you can see there is a large cloud above us there, and my frame rate has not changed whatsoever. I'm running at 120 Hz here on the index. As you can see, the real-time shadows and everything, just fantastic. Let's see if I can get another view on the keyboard here, another one that I haven't set, and give you an idea of what this actually looks like. So our landing gear is still up. So what I might do is, if I can see where the G key is, let's have a look.
vertical velocity indication. Go ahead and raise the flaps by pressing left control and F.
Navigational flaps. Raise flaps. Oh, again, it's another one of those I haven't set it. As I say, I've just literally jumped in to see what this is like on the index, and I think we through that cloud without properly experiencing it. Let's get ourselves over here. I can imagine the immersion factor once you get into real missions and you understand all these dials and the weapon system and everything else. I can imagine it would be quite fantastic. So let's get ourselves down here, and then we'll fly down there into the valley down below. And we'll have a look what it's like at lower speed. So as you can see, we're up at 4,000 at the minute, and I don't even know how to turn half the dials on and everything else and all the instrumentation. This is the first kind of experience to say that it probably is usable. Now, I bought the FC Hornet, but I refunded it because I was told it was full VR, thinking it was, you know, being able to touch everything, but unfortunately that functionality is not in the game as yet. As you can see, we're just passing over a cloud here. So let's get ourselves down here. We'll dive down. I refunded it until I actually get a proper HOTAS, because I hadn't had this software that enables me to be able to open and close things and set commands, and taking the headset off all the time just became really, really frustrating. Oh, something happened to the craft then. I'm not quite sure what that was there. And if we fly down, let's just see if there's any reflections and things. There must be a strong wind or something here. I could feel the craft getting pushed violently there. Not quite sure what that's doing, if it's something I've done. Whether it's the rudder. Maybe I've touched the rudder. Let's get down here, down towards the river, and have a look. So, yes, it is totally playable in VR. The frame rate is really, really good, running at 120 Hz here on the index with a virtual stick. And so if you haven't got a HOTAS, you can still get in and experience this game. Immersion factor here is really, really, really good. As we get down, lower ourselves down here and have a look. You can just imagine coming in on a gun run now, with the Su-25 being a CAS, close air support vehicle aircraft. Let's get ourselves and see if we can fly down along this river, right down into the ravine. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. See if we can get some more views here. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This was just a really quick look at DCS World in virtual reality when you haven't got a HOTAS stick. It is flyable. You could have some fun in here, and what's more, it's free. So if you want to get this game, get it downloaded on Steam and give it a go. Obviously the graphics are not going to be as beautiful as they are on the desktop version, but you know what, this is still a really, really enjoyable experience. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I shall see you in another video coming real soon. Even if we don't do any more DCS, we'll certainly be doing some more VTOL and a few of the other games. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. I'll see you in more videos coming real soon. Bye bye.